To understand modern Panama, we must first take a look at its formation. Panama belonged to the vast territory of Gran Colombia, which is the name used today for the territory that encompassed much of northern South America and part of southern Central America from 1819 to 1831. It was composed of the modern states of Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, and of course, Panama. Panama enjoys two independence days, one from Spain and the other from Colombia. The date of Panama's independence from Spain is November 28, 1821, also referred to as El Primer Grito de Independencia de la Villa de los Santos. The Panamanian movement for independence from the Spanish crown began on November 10, 1821, with the events of the first call for independence led by Rufina Alfaro and Segundo Villarreal. This call for independence quickly gained momentum, and other similar calls for independence spread across the region to other Panamanian cities. Naval operations during the Spanish-American War of 1898 served to convince President Theodore Roosevelt that the United States needed to control a canal somewhere in the Western Hemisphere. This interest culminated in the Spooner Bill of 1902, providing for a canal through the Isthmus of Panama, and the Hay-Herran Treaty of 1903, under which Colombia gave consent to such a project in the form of a 100-year lease on an area 10 kilometers wide. This treaty, however, was not ratified by Bogotá, and the United States, determined to construct the canal across the isthmus, intensively encouraged the Panamanian separatist movement. A revolutionary junta was created in Panama, headed by José Agustín Arango, an attorney for the Panama Railroad Company. Manuel Amador Guerrero and Carlos Arosemena served on the junta, as well as 5 other members, all from prominent Panamanian families. Arango, however, was considered the brains of the revolution, and Amador was the junta's active leader. With the financial assistance arranged by Felipe Bunau Varilla, a French national representing the interests of de Lesseps' company, the native Panamanian leaders conspired to take advantage of the United States' interest in a new regime on the isthmus. In October and November of 1903, the revolutionary junta, with the protection of the United States naval forces, carried out a successful uprising against the Colombian government. In November 1903, Panama declared its independence from Colombia and had a draft constitution sent over from Washington. Modern Panama is located in Central America, bordering both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, between Colombia and Costa Rica. This unique geographical position has blessed Panama with no natural disasters or destructive earthquakes, which plague other Central and North American neighbors. The country of Panama covers 29,761 square miles, which is an area smaller than South Carolina, and is home to 3.8 million people. Panama City is the country's capital and is residence to half of the country's population. Panama's workforce consists of approximately 1.8 million workers and has a low unemployment rate of 4.5%. The 2013 estimated GDP of Panama is $42.6 billion, with a GDP per capita of 16,500, which has gradually increased over the years. Panama has the highest GDP percentage annual growth in Latin America. Despite strong economic growth, the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean shows that 28.6% of the population live below the poverty line. The official currency of Panama are the Panamanian balboa as well as the US dollar. The balboa is named after Spanish explorer Vasco Núñez de Balboa, who discovered the Pacific Ocean in 1513. Since 1904, 1 balboa equals 1 US dollar, and since then, the US dollar has legally circulated in Panama. The currency used day to day in Panama is the US dollar, which is also legal tender. For this reason, Panama is considered a dollarized country and was the second economy in the continent to become dollarized economy.
The main exports of Panama consist of bananas, coffee beans, clothing, shrimp, and sugar. 71% of Panama's GDP comes from the exports of these goods, while revenue from canal tolls continue to represent a significant portion of Panama's GDP. Panama's imports consist of fuel, products, medicine, vehicles, cell phones, and steel. The United States is the main trading partner of Panama, with about 1/3 of exports and imports going to and coming from the U.S. More than 25% of Panama's territory is protected by 14 Panama national parks and nature reserves. The tropical rainforest of the Darien province is surpassed in size only by the Amazon basin and is the second largest rainforest in the Western Hemisphere. The Republic of Panama includes more than 1,000 islands. The white sandy beaches of San Blas and the rich culture of the Cuna Indians are one of the best kept secrets of the Caribbean. The Azuero Peninsula is the birthplace of Panamanian folklore, as well as the site of one of the best beaches for surfing. The rainforest of Darien is home to the Embera and Wunan communities, as well as an impressive amount of native species of animals, birds, insects, and plants. Today, 8 indigenous tribes are officially recognized in Panama, representing about 10% of the country's population. Panama was once home to as many as 2 million indigenous people, but as in other Latin American countries, it fell victim to warfare and disease. Ethnically, the majority of the population is mestizo, mixed Spanish and Indian, or mixed Spanish, Indian, Chinese, and West Indian. This diverse cultural mix is due to Panama's unique location and history as a crossroads of the world. Each of the 9 Panamanian provinces have a rich and varied folklore and cultural traditions, which are expressed through its dances, cultural dress, the pollera, music, and cuisine. Traditional crafts include the colorful mola, tagua nut carvings, wunan and embera woven baskets, balsa and cocobolo wood carvings, and poetry. Illiteracy and poverty rates are high among the indigenous populations, even though most tribes have embraced contact with the outside world. 80.5% of the indigenous people live below the poverty line. To better their economic conditions, some tribes sell their high-quality craft products in domestic markets and abroad. This, in turn, helps to support the needs of the villages and native people. The Panama Canal is a key transportation route between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Without the canal, ships and other vessels would either need to travel south around the tip of South America, or they would need to offload their goods to be transported across land to another vessel. The Panama Canal was built by the United States and completed in 1914. The U.S. paid Panama $10 million and agreed to pay additional payments every year. The Panama Canal stretches 48 miles from the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean and is a major shipping passageway. In 1977, Jimmy Carter signed the Torrijos-Carter Treaty, which declared that control of the Panama Canal would be turned over to Panama on December 31, 1999. In October 2006, Panama voters overwhelmingly approved the national referendum on a $5.25 billion bill expansion of the Panama Canal. The plan calls for the largest modernization plan in the 92-year history of the Panama Canal, which would allow the canal to handle modern container ships, cruise liners, and tankers that are too large for its current 108-foot wide locks. The plan has an expected completion date of 2015.
Panama is no stranger to ruthless dictatorships. Manuel Noriega was just that. Noriega is considered as the most famous graduate of the School of the Americas. Noriega served as a CIA operative and had strong ties with the U.S. After joining the Panama National Guard in 1967, Noriega quickly made his way up the military ranks. In 1983, after General Omar Torrijos, the former commander of the Panamanian and National Guard, died in an airplane accident, Noriega took command of the country's military and promoted himself as full general. In 1989, Noriega canceled the presidential elections and attempted to rule through a puppet government. After a military coup against Noriega failed, the United States invaded Panama, and Noriega finally surrendered in January 1990. Noriega was convicted for his involvement in crimes such as election fraud, drug trafficking, money laundering, murder, and espionage against the U.S. A major problem that plagues Panama today is the circulation of cocaine within its borders due to its close proximity to Colombia, a major producer of cocaine. The Panamanian flag was designed by Don Loving Manuel Encarnacion and created by Dona Maria Osa of Amador. The design symbolized the two political parties, the Liberal Party represented by the color red and the Conservative Party represented by the color blue. The stars represent Panamanian nationalism, the force and the authority characteristics of the development of the country. Panama has a multi-party system. In the 2014 presidential elections, Juan Carlos Varela Rodriguez from the Panamanista Party, the second largest in Panama since 2006, won the election with over 39% of the votes. Panama's politics take place in a framework of a presidential representative democratic republic, whereby the President of Panama is both head of state and head of government, and of a multi-party system.